massive, because that law was against vengeance. That was the beauty of the law. If you lose one eye, you take one eye. You don't take more than what's worth an eye. Nobody ever took out an eye. It was never understood literally. It wasn't meant. It was meant an eye is worth an eye. An eye under an eye in the Hebrew literally. Eye and eye. This is the book that changed the world. When you have problems with it, just let me tell you, this is my final word to say. If you want to take your questions, this guy wants to be full of this. I will just tell you that the whole reason that any of you even ask the moral questions of the Torah is because the Torah asks and taught you how to ask moral questions. It's worth preserving as a divine document. Thank you very, very much. I'll go all the way back there. Someone, I don't even know if it's male or female and white. Oh, with the car, it must be male unless we're in New York. Yeah.
Let's get a little more personal, but as someone who believes in the Torah so strongly, why aren't you an Orthodox Jew?
Oh, I explained that, and he asked me, someone that treats the Torah so strongly, why aren't I an Orthodox Jew? Well, in 3 words, Yom Tov Sheni. I mean, the fact that that exists has not been changed when we know the reason for it, and I get the answer.
Next day of the Jewish holiday. Second day, Rosh Hashanah.
The custom of our fathers is a law for us. It's beyond I can't be an irrational believing Jew. God gave us reason, and I have to live with it. And this is no attack on Orthodox Jews, who proportionately are the most serious group of Jews. Proportionately, but that's beside the point. But there are many. The reason has to do with rabbinic, not to do with Torah.
What is rabbinic Judaism? How does it connect the oral law to your view? Because what you're basically saying, if I understood you correctly, is you look at the Torah and you read and you personally work out the conflict. Now, Rabbinic Judaism seems to have answers to some of these, and what role does a rabbi or your personal rabbi have in your life, or having a rabbi?
Okay, it's a great question. A rabbi has a deep role in my life. That's why I study so much from rabbinic, from rabbis in my life, and from rabbinic what rabbis will write. And we end up always on the same side, except when it comes to aspects of the oral law. Or teachings. I mean, for example, it's clear. I mean, there's a clear conflict between the rabbis and the Torah on capital punishment. It is intellectually dishonest to deny. The rabbis opposed capital punishment, period, as an issue. They made it impossible. Okay? You need 2 eyewitnesses, and the eyewitnesses have to say to the person who went into murder beforehand, you know, if you do this, you will be killed and executed. And the guy had to say, I'm aware of the fact that I didn't do So it's obvious the rabbis were opposed to capital punishment. Had I lived in ancient Rome, where people were crucified for a hobby, I might have had that position too. But it is, without question, it negates the Torah's adamant pro-capital punishment for murder position. It is the only law in all 5 books of the Torah that murderers be put to death. The only single one. God says it at the beginning of the world after Noah, that by man shall murderers be put to death. Not by me, but by man. So there are conflicts, which is inevitable because the rabbis were giants, but they were giant humans. And so if Eliezer Berkowitz, one of the greatest Orthodox and Jewish thinkers of the 20th century, described it as being Karaites of the oral law. I won't go further because being those who understand it do, others I don't want it to go. My point here is not to bring anybody from Orthodoxy or to Orthodoxy. My point is to bring people to the Torah. What you will do after that, if you become Orthodox, you become conservative, Reform, or like me, just all of them combined. I don't care. That's between you and God. But we can all, I hope, well, we won't all, but I would like all of us to agree on the need for this divine instruction manual, and I'm happy to tell you that reason is what brings me to believe it is a divine manual. Next, please. Yes, sir.
On the subject of the gay issue, I think most of us would agree with what you're saying about gender differences. There was a recent gay parade in Jerusalem, and some people did not agree with the way the gay people were marching in Jerusalem. And the question is, the people who did not agree with the gay people in marching use the Torah of their God, not their hearts. So, can you comment on that?
Well, the question was about the gay pride march in Jerusalem. I understand why gays would want to assert, look, here we are, please honor us as your fellow brother, sister, cousin, uncle, friend, business associate. That's totally understandable. Many of those parades, I don't know if that happened in this parade, also have that aspect of the gay male community, which is very exhibitionist, nearly naked, and cavort in ways that do violate what those ultra-Orthodox would want. Now, I think in this case it played on both their houses. Why they should have picked Jerusalem, and they should have been honored to have their parade. It is, after all, a country of law. It's not a theocracy, Israel. They should have been allowed their parade. And I don't like these people. This is the issue that they get really exercised about. When there are, how about all the money that's funneled from social welfare into the yeshiva building that the Orthodox parties do? I'd like to see a march in Meir Sharim against that, against using Torah parties to corrupt politics in Israel. But that will side with the right if you give us money, we'll side with the left if you give us money. Okay? So, you got to admit one thing, I alienate everybody equally.
In this summer, we heard a lot of criticism about Israel's response in respect to the attacks. I'm just wondering if you might go into that.
Well, about Israel's attacks against Hezbollah in Lebanon and being called disproportionate. So that wasn't even an eye for an eye. That was 17 eyes, the accusers would say, for 1 eye. My dear friends, the Jewish people are the world's miner's canary. Evil focuses on us first, and then it goes to other innocent people. And non-Jews who understand Jew hatred and save their lives, those who think Jew hatred is the Jews' problem or even the Jews' fault, they will not learn anything and they will get hurt. Look, the blaming of Israel for the disproportionate responses. I mean, what did we do to Germany in World War II? Israel is surgical compared to Dresden. And by the way, I defend her. There is a tragic fact that when a country unleashes gas chambers, it will suffer. And that's the way it is. And it's a tragic fact. Don't let your country make gas chambers and you won't get by. But back to the present day, it was not a disproportionate response that Israel engaged in. These people literally hide their weapons and wear no uniforms so that they cannot be ever identified and stand among civilians. And then the world joins the chorus of condemnation of Israel for attacking civilians. It's truly disgusting, and if nothing else, it all makes me a more believing Jew. When I was a kid, and in fact, I just said this on the radio, my show is not, for Jews only. 95% of our listeners are not Jewish. But I said on the radio, in fact, I don't know what city wrote me a letter, said, Dennis, I heard the Jews say that in every generation they believe somebody will try to destroy them. Is this true, and did you believe it? And I said, well, it is said, it's in the Passover Haggadah, in every generation somebody will try to annihilate us, not oppress us. Annihilate. Elohim means make it end. When I was a kid, I remember thinking whoever wrote this was wrong. After the Holocaust, people are not going to do this anymore. And now you have Ahmadinejad, and you have Hamas, and you have Hezbollah announcing we wish to exterminate the Jewish state. And you have people like Tony Judt at New York University, needless to say a Jew, who says, you know what, it is time for Israel to give up and have one